Hello everyone, this is Metroid Nerd number 9001, and I just wanted to make a quick video detailing how to get all the items in Super Metroid Hotlands. So this is going to be a relatively quick video. I'm just going to be showing off all of the little tiling hints and how to get to all the hidden upgrades in the game. I won't be showing off all the obvious required ones because you're going to get those if you're playing the game anyway, but anything that requires some kind of searching or hint to find, I will be going over those. So I'll see you at the first item. Our first item of note comes right after Bomb Teresa. There's a Trozo orb right on the other side of this wall, but we can't seem to get to it. You can infinite bomb jump up here, but that's not necessarily the fastest or best way to do it. You can see there's a platform up here, and with good grapple skills, you can swing, and if you can get enough momentum, you can fling yourself up to the top. From there, you just have to grapple across a few points. Nothing too crazy. Then grapple up a wall. And you can make your way around to this Trozo orb, which turns out to be a missile tank. However, we're not done here, because there's a couple conspicuous pillars up here, and makes you wonder why are they like it. So if you stand at this one, and you jump to the very peak of your jump, you can just barely see a grapple block at the top of your screen. And if you can grapple onto it, and if you do the same fling move you did earlier in the room, you can find there's an entire secret area at the top here. Getting up here gives you access to the second grapple challenge in this room, which requires multiple flings across long distances. And performing all three of these in succession nets you an energy tank. But wait, there's more. At the very bottom of the room, as a consolation prize if you can't get the energy tank, there's still an item dot, and you can find it in this upside down pillar. You shoot it, and you can get a missile. There's an item hidden in this room, denoted by this bomb block and the suspiciously empty part of the wall. If you mid-air morph and lay a bomb there, you can open up a morph passage, and you can stand up and jump into this secret room at the top here. Bombing another suspicious spot allows you to enter a morph ball passage, and following the holes in the ceiling lets you reach at the end where you can bomb and get another missile tank. This next item requires solving a small puzzle. Before you get Morph Ball, you learn about the remote gate concept that I like to use throughout this hack, and this is the second test of this. That first Morph Ball passage is pretty easy to find, however these next two are not as easy to find. You can find the second gate here, and if you shoot through this slope, you can find it's not solid. And similarly, looking through the holes in the floor, and you can find this conspicuous slope that you can Morph Ball through and reach the third gate. On the other side of the gates, you reach this what seems to be a dead end, but it's not actually a dead end. I never really use 4 straight ceiling tiles in a row throughout the hack, which I at least intended to be relatively suspicious, and if you shoot those, it turns out you can break through them. And after traversing through all these rooms, you shoot this block in the wall, and you can get the charge beam. On your way back to the other side of the map, you can find a similar ceiling to the one that leads to charge beam, and if you break it, you can jump through it. Well, you have to wall jump. And on the other side, you can find a missile. This room may seem like there's just an obvious missile tank sitting on a pedestal, but if you look on the left side of the room, there's a bunch of bugs that skitter away. Typically, if you jump in a certain way, there will be one bug left over, which will draw your eye to it, and you'll find that there's a hidden passage. And this hidden passage leads to another mini-boss. After disposing of the mini-boss, you'll find that the lava at the bottom of the room has drained, opening up another passageway. And this passageway will lead you to an energy tank. In the elevator room leading into the core, there's a suspicious wall here with a corner tile that you can morph ball through, and that will lead you to an energy tank. Right outside the map room, you can see a Nova will crawl into a suspicious passageway, and if you wall jump and morph ball into it, you will find there's a hidden room that will lead you to an item, which turns out to be the Spazer. To get through this room, you have to do another gate puzzle. You can find suspicious path holes in the wall and shadows through that will lead you in a morph ball passage to one of the 2 green gates in this room. The second one, also denoted by holes in the wall and ceiling, requires a bit of wall jumping and good timing to hit the switch. And then you can also find a suspicious passageway through the shadows in the wall, and that will lead you to the bottom where you can traverse through the gates. Directly after getting Screw Attack, you can find the suspicious wall with some shadows leading off screen, and you can shoot through it. So, if you mid-air morph, you can traverse your way through the passageway and get yourself a Super Missile. The passage in this wall is normally blocked by Cordite, but after you get Screw Attack, the passageway is open and you can get an energy tank. In this room, you can find a suspicious spot by having this ceiling tile, where it has 2 long stalactites hanging out underneath it with a flat ceiling tile in the middle. This you can break with bombs or Screw Attack, and then if you break the upper bomb block, you'll make your way into this upper room where you can shoot this suspicious crevice in the ceiling and get yourself a missile. This next item has a lot to it. You can either bomb jump your way up these, or you can crumble jump, if you can actually succeed in it. And that will allow you to get through this passageway, bomb this wall, and make your way into the next room. But we're not quite done yet. Behind this armored pirate, there's another suspicious wall like we've seen earlier. If you mid-air morph into it, you can find a secret passage into this room up here. After taking care of all the enemies and removing the lag, you can find that there is a suspicious pillar hanging from the ceiling, and you can reveal a Super Missile. Up here in this room, we have another suspicious shadow leading off screen, and the suspicious tile is this tile that almost always has a stalactite hanging underneath it. However, this one does not, which denotes that you can bomb it. You mid-air morph into the passageway, and you find another suspicious pillar hanging from the ceiling that contains a missile. Back at the top of the core, we have a very Metroid 1-esque room containing a missile, but that's not actually what we're here for. What we're here for is the very Metroid 1-esque passage outside of the room, which leads us to a mysterious room with water in it. Similar to the last missile tank we found, there's a shadow leading off screen and a tile that usually has a stalactite underneath it. If you can bomb it and you mid-air morph into it, you will find the secret passage into the Secret Grove. On the left-hand path of the Secret Grove, we find this room. And in this room, we have our final grapple puzzle for the hack. First off, we have a single grapple point that we can use to fling ourselves off to the other side of the room, which allows us to reach this wall, grapple onto another point near the top of the room, flinging us back to the left-hand side of the room, where we can find ourselves a Super Missile. Right outside the ice beam, we have another secret passage in the Secret Grove. There's a tile in this room that you can break underneath an enemy that's suspiciously barely underwater, and you would wonder, why is there water in this room? This allows you to reach a secret underwater alcove, and doing a few underwater wall jumps allows you to get an energy tank. On the right-hand path of the Secret Grove, we have a room with a couple of locked doors and another suspicious passageway denoted by this slope leading into a wall. And on the other side of it, we can get ourselves a reserve tank. But wait, there's more. Our final upgrade is pretty major, and it requires finding this suspicious passage through the wall. You can bomb it, and then once you make your way into it, you will find the animals. Laying this switch will activate the emergency escape rocket, effectively saving the animals, but what this also does is it unlocks the doors on the outside of this rocket. This lets you get into the bottom of the rocket, and on the other side of the rocket we have our prize. This prize being the unique upgrade for this hack, first premiering here, which is the Power Rush, which will give you a major damage boost whenever you're at 30 HP or less. And to demonstrate this, I have the statue explode and have you see that whenever you are at this level, you will use charge shots with every beam shot without having to actually charge. And all of your missile upgrades will deal double damage. But of course, who could forget the power bomb tank at the end of the hack? Collecting this power bomb tank will bring you to the final 100% item totals, which is 50 missiles, 10 super missiles, 1 power bomb, 7 energy tanks, 1 reserve tank, grapple beam, power rush, charge beam, ice beam, spacer, varia, morph, bombs, and screw attack. Having all of these upgrades in position is everything you can acquire in this hack.